Welcome to Colonize the Ocean Podcast, where we discuss oceanic colonization, exploration, and education with your hosts, Adam Jewell and Brendon Traxler.
I want to talk about something that is personal to me, and so I figure I'll just talk about it. And obviously, if anybody's got anything they want to chime in and talk about, I'm all ears about that too. But last weekend I was on a short vacation, first one I've really had in like 2 years, and because of that, I was able to relax and get some clarity and just kind of hopefully some more vision on what we're doing here. Because I feel like this live stream on Tuesday nights has not really had a pure purpose. Sometimes it's kind of been flailing, and I apologize for that. They haven't been up to the quality that I wanted them to be. That's lack of preparation on my part, whatever. But moving forward, they should have a little bit more structure to them, hope a little bit more value, better guests. Well, not better guests, but more guests, because we've had some really great guests in the past, and we've got a couple more that have said, hey, hold off until after the summer. We got a lot going on this summer. So in August, September, we should have some more guests coming back on. So we'll see what we're doing for July. We got some ideas. But what I want to talk about tonight was just mostly about we in the underwater, people interested in underwater habitats and wanting to colonize the ocean or put underwater habitats. We're a very niche group. And because of that, I think we need to have good communication and, constant communication, strengthen each other and building each other up and positive reinforcement as far as ideas and stuff along those lines. There's, I know of at least a half dozen, there's probably about a dozen or so different groups out there working on underwater habitats, all different types of designs, all different types of ideas and visions for it. But at the core, we're all here for the same purpose, is to explore the oceans, to open the oceans up to everybody, so that the beauty that we know of the oceans that everybody can see. We are the inner space to the outer space race. There's, Bezos and Branson and Musk with their space race. And we've got some names, but not nearly as big. And so again, we're a very niche, whichever you want to say it, group. The scuba community as a whole is only about 6 million people worldwide. So if you're just even factoring in those that have experienced that, it's a very small group. And that's why community and communication is so important, in my opinion. Let me get my notes up here so if it's my chats, I can see what you guys are saying there. Community, and I think to the core, back even in the early 90s, when I first started getting the internet and first, started to reach out, community has always been core to Atlantic Sea Colony. Back with Yahoo groups, the people who remember Yahoo groups, I was very active in those, finding science, sci-fi, whatever. People would talk about this idea and building repertoire through that. Even the earliest Atlantic Sea Colony websites was all about, we had a shared area on there where I'd share links of other people and people would share links back to Atlantic Sea Colony because, again, community ideas was so important. And it's kind of why, for better or for worse, that I've wanted us to be on as many social media platforms as we can be on, because the more ideas are out there, the more places we can touch people, the more people we can get feedback from, the better, in my ideas. And I'll talk about, the benefits and the negatives of that. But, and I guess we'll go into that. The struggles that I've seen because of being such an open thing is we've always got to be active. And so that puts a lot of pressure on Adam. I've charged with doing almost all the social media stuff. And so that takes up some of his time to find articles and put stuff out there. I'd like to have even better articles out there, but it's a time thing. And you can see even on my part that any of you that may be involved in the Let's Build Habitat Facebook group, the private group that I've got, I'm horrible at keeping that updated or keeping in there. Because there's so many other things going on, and that needs to be more of a focus of mine. But it's one of those boulders that I have resting on me that I got to address. Also, with being open and being out there with everybody, you always have all the haters and the people all my life. And I'm sure anybody else that's been in this community can attest to it as well, that you've got people who have laughed at you or told you that's crazy and it can never be done or whatever. And you got that you got to deal with. And you have to figure out, even our previous logo, for the longest time, people were commenting me, telling me, hey, that's a pedophile logo. I had zero idea about any of this. And through research, I found out if you twisted it a certain way, yes, it looked that way. So we changed the logo. Once again, that was a pro and a con. Yes, I had to deal with all that stress of people bashing on that logo, but at least we found that out and we got that addressed. So pros and cons. The other big thing is, and conversations I've had with other people in this community, is they don't want to say very much because they don't have anything to offer yet. And I think that with being vocal and being out there, it's the importance of telling people, hey, with a project like this, here's where we're at. Here's what we're doing. We don't have anything built yet. It's something we're working on. Yes, we're ready to do this, but we're not there yet, either financially or design or whatever your problem may be. It's one of those downsides to it. And the other thing always is keeping people engaged. As a project like this stretches out for a longer period of time, people die off. They get bored. They in this world of instant gratification, they want answers and they want stuff right now. So it's keeping people engaged and coming back and realize that this isn't a pipe dream. This isn't something that we hope is going to happen, or that it's a cool idea. Let's try to make it happen. We're going to make it happen. It may take a little bit longer than initially expected for whatever reasons. People, I honestly felt that when I started this whole journey a couple of years ago, that the money would come in easier than it was, that people would rally behind this idea and they would give money to it. And I get it. Money's tight. Would I give money to it? I don't know if it wasn't my idea. So yeah, and stuff like that. And then the other thing is involving people who want to help. We've had many people reach out, hey, I want to work for you guys. I want to help. I want to do this. I want to do this. It's finding a place to put people, especially in a volunteer basis like we are, that will give them value and not wasting their time. So there's all those things I just listed that I deal with on a daily basis almost. But it's because I love what this is, and this has to happen. I'd rather be out there in front of you guys and telling you what's going on and talking to you on a weekly basis than not posting anything and just running, in a ghost mode almost. Some of the benefits, though, now that we took all the bad out of the way, is that it brings a lot like-minded people together. Through this, I've been able to connect with so many different people that share this passion. Babe, for once, everybody knows Babe. He's been on multiple times. He's a big supporter of ours. That he's one of the people that he admitted he laid low for quite a while to make sure that we were legit. And so there's other people like that. All the people we've had on the podcast, we made some great connections from them. And we got some really great people coming up. I'm excited to get on the podcast too, or on the live stream with us. And just in general, I think that it feels good to give, whether it is of our time, our knowledge, or whatever. I've held a lot of this stuff very close to my chest in the past and haven't want to give out too information. But if these ideas and what we're doing here can help empower somebody to fulfill their dreams or just move forward in whatever they're doing, that's good. Plus, if we can give people that are wanting to volunteer their time something to do, that's great as well. Some of the other benefits of being a community-focused approach here is the relationships, because, as I say, it is who you know. So as we build these relationships, those relationships can lead to other connections, stuff along those lines. So it's getting communications, it's getting in contact with people, it's growing the brand, it's marketing, it's all those types of things. And people want to help. We want people to help. We love volunteers. And so segueing from the whole, we want people to help, is how can people help? In the past, we've talked about, hey, if you got artistic skills, if you got writing skills, if you got any kind of skills, we want to use you to help the brand. And from that standpoint, I've created a Slack. And for those know what Slack is a web-based platform for bringing communities together to work on projects or whatever. A lot of businesses use them for their inter office communication. You can break down groups in there, and you can assign people to groups, and they can work on stuff. So we've done that, and we've actually started reaching out to people and inviting people into our Slack that have different skill sets that we're looking for to help with this. Whether it is, hey, got good connections and social media stuff. You drop your social media stuff in there. Adam schedules it all out and puts it out there. You're contributing the information because Adam isn't a diver. Adam's background isn't in any of this ocean-related stuff whatsoever. He's helping a friend out on his vision, me, and he's doing what he can. And he's done an awesome job over the last couple of years growing the brand for us, and I can't thank him enough for that. But if we got people out there that do know more about this and can help Adam out, that's what Slack is there for. And same thing with everything else, whether it's working on Atlantic Sea Colony, the project, whether it's video editing, whether it's whatever, we want to build this Slack up to having people in there. So once again, if there's people out there that have skill sets and want to be involved in this, and actually want to be involved and have the skill sets, we're not letting just anybody in there because I do want this to be a slim, productive team. And one of the things we're talking about Slack is, Adam wanted to go Discord. We've tried Teams in the past. So there's a bunch of different platforms out there. I don't want people reaching out saying, hey, why don't you do this? Why don't you do this? Slack just seemed to be the most user-friendly, in my opinion, after using Teams and Discord for a while. And it has a professional aura to it as well. So I think that was my really quick 10-minute rundown of the importance of community, what we're doing, why we're doing it, and how we're doing it. And again, wrapping it up with how you guys can be involved and, just why we're doing this live stream, for one thing, because it is one avenue that we can get in front of you guys week after week, whether we have guests or not, and tell you about what Atlantic Sea Colony is doing, that we are here to stay. We are focused on building habitats for everybody. As I said in the past, the business model for Atlantic Sea Colony is we want cost-effective, modular approach to undersea habitats. I think of it as a tiny home community meets, I don't know, it's underwater. Airbnb underwater, tiny home community. But the fact that you can add on. When I was talking, I mentioned this last week as well. When I think of Atlantic Sea Colony, I think of it as you start off with your main habitat, whether it's a bedroom, small kitchenette, a bathroom, and that's it. And then so let me build on. I want to have a greenhouse. So you slap on another pod that's a greenhouse. I was thinking the other day, I was just sitting there, thinking about designs and stuff along those lines. And you can even have a whole entire pod that was just like grass outside, so you could have your pets with you, and you can take them over there to go to the bathroom or just get some grass and stuff along those lines. So you have a whole entire pet pod out there. You have an energy pod. You have a research pod. And before too long, you got all these different pods. And I think that not only does it open up for the private community, but the business community, there's lots of opportunities too. And in fact, I'm in the process right now. If you haven't checked out our website recently, which let me throw that up there real quick, atlanticseacolony.com. I'm constantly updating that website here recently, adding more and more information into it, making a little bit more value to it than just a placeholder for Atlantic Sea Colony with more information on there. So I recommend you go check it out. I'm always adding more. We're getting ready to drop a whole entire business and a private section pages on there that goes into more detail on what I'm talking about here. So they'll have pictures, they'll have ideas, and what we're kind of looking for that. So check out the website. We'll post it on social media as we update it as well. But one thing I was talking about adding value is upcoming guests. So we've got a marine biologist. We've hopefully got some other designer of underwater habitats. We've got a couple other people that I'm working on as well for this late summer, fall coming up. So if you're a Patreon member, you find out about this stuff and they already know about who's supposedly coming up. If you're not, you just have to wait for the rest of us. We are going to start doing some Patreon only video stuff with some of these interview people. So that our Patreon members are getting the most. In fact, one of the very first things we'll probably do that's Patreon only is July 20th. I am going to Jules Undersea Lodge. I'll be doing the Aquanaut program, so I'll be there for 24 hours, staying underwater. There will be some Patreon only stuff there. So again, if you're not a Patreon member, and it's hard for me to promote Patreon or PayPal or anything like that, because I know money is a valuable thing for people. But if you it's $5 or $1 a month for Patreon. It's a month, so it's really not that much, and it helps. Right now, our Patreon members are helping pay for this platform so that we can do this at no cost to the company, which allows us to put all other money we're happening to get straight into the company for stuff. We're hopefully going to be able to release some numbers here soon on building costs. We're finalizing some building costs, and we'll have that pretty soon. Patreon, once again, or if you've got some money you just want sitting around you want to throw at us, it's PayPal. Again, both those links are right at LNSE Colony when you first go on to make it simple. So there's that. And talking about our patrons, before we get off that real fast, I do want to thank our patrons because we have Edward, Brian, and Babe who have been contributing for quite a while to this cause. I thank you guys so much for your continued support. You guys are awesome. Thank you very much. But I just want to encourage everybody that, one thing I've learned in business is word of mouth is the most valuable and the cheapest form of advertising. So if anybody has ideas on ways for us to maybe make a post that you guys can share out, or if you're on YouTube, again, like our YouTube channel, subscribe to our YouTube channel, like our stuff, because liking it helps the YouTube algorithm. And that's one of the things too that I'm hoping to add to the website eventually too, is a whole entire go back to that similar, like a database almost of different podcasts, different Facebook groups, different whatever that people can reach out, the community-based aspect of the thing, because the website hasn't had it for quite a while, and I think it needs to come back. So that's something that's going to be coming here pretty soon too, is a community section where you have a bunch of different links to different areas that you can get some information. So thank you guys. Thank you for all that. So let me run down the stuff again. Of course, atlantaseacolony.com. All of our social media links are there: Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, the podcast. Our podcast has been getting a lot of steady listens. So if you haven't checked out our podcast, I definitely, like, this will go up on the podcast. I'm starting to put more and more stuff. Our interviews have been on the podcast. A lot of stuff we did before we were doing the Tuesday Live has been up there. Interviews with Carly Jackson are still our number one listened podcast, is Carly Jackson from the Seasteading Institute. That's a really good one. We actually may be doing some more stuff with the seasteaders in the future. That's a cool other group to look into if you're interested in ocean stuff. They have a plethora of information and a huge database out there. Ocean Builders, who's with the Seasteading organization, they've got an awesome website. So I would definitely check them out. So yeah, and once again, there's just so many organizations out there. You can spend quite a while searching for them. I want to bring them all under a single location on our website, so you've got one place to go to for all these different organizations to easily find them. Again, trying to digress there. atlantaseacolony.com. Check us out there. Go like our socials. Go hit us up. Again, Patreon for $1 or $5 a month. You can help support us and our journey to building an a manned underwater habitat. Hopefully here pretty soon. PayPal as well. You can support us in whatever monetary amount you choose. Our merch. And again, thank you for our Patreon members. Babe, Edward, Brian, you guys rock. We are glad to have you, and I'm humbled by your continued support. With that being said, guys, I want to thank you again for tuning in, for listening to me speak, for being a part of this and on this journey with us. I thank you. Adam thanks you. And this is exciting stuff we're doing. It's going to be an exciting future. Stay with us. Stay on this journey with us. And, hey, I will catch you guys later. Take care. Thanks again.